Well, he said triple entendre. Don't even ask me how, but whatever. All right. Well, I guess we can transition into the show.
Okay.
All right then. Welcome everybody to the Kasson Avenue podcast. This is episode number 167. I wrote that down so I wouldn't forget. By the way, full transparency. I am your host Adam here with my brother Osama. The dog is here as well, passed out. We were not here last week.
No.
It was a noticeable missing piece, but we're here again.
There was snow here though.
There was a lot of snow.
It wasn't a lot, but it was enough where I.
Well, over a few days, it became a lot. It was like 8 to 9 inches of snow out here, I would say.
Oh, out here?
Yeah.
Oh, see, we didn't get that much out there, so it's probably a good idea I didn't come.
Well, we did. Well, listen. We start the show by saying, please go ahead and subscribe to that Patreon. You know, we're trying to give y'all a little something. You know, we working on it, and follow us on all the social sites and subscribe to us on the podcast site.
We appreciate you.
Well, we'll appreciate you if you subscribe and follow us.
Well,
we don't just appreciate everybody.
If they're watching,
I don't just give out appreciation like a hoe. You know,
If they're watching now, though.
Yeah. If you're watching, for sure. But like, watch more than the first 38 seconds.
So who are you really talking to if you're not talking to them who are subscribed when you're saying to subscribe?
Let me tell you something. If nobody watched the Patreon but they subscribed, I would appreciate them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're paying,
and we have one subscriber on Patreon. I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch, but I appreciate him.
He never asked for that T-shirt.
I gave him last month for free because he didn't take a T-shirt.
Really?
Yeah, I said pause billing for this month.
Well, that's pretty cool. You know, I realized this morning is that we actually have basically a bucket full of T-shirts. Yeah. So if you don't know,
now you know.
Now you know. Yeah, we have actually this T-shirt right here, 100th episode, which was.
I'm not sure how deep you can see, but like it's right there.
I don't think they can
against the wall in the middle.
You know, it's weird that the French say oui to say yes.
Because here it means like to pee essentially.
Oui. I mean, people call oui-wees their dicks. Like my oui-wee.
I mean, listen. There's a lot of names for a dick in America if you think about it.
Richard.
Penis. Just gonna. I mean, there's a layup, so I had to take it. You know.
Penis.
We don't champion that. Not that there's anything wrong with it if you do.
So now you can't say the word fuck in the first how long?
Hopefully not in the first 2.5 minutes.
Well, I think I've already broken that rule.
I think that only matters if you're monetized, and we make zero money from YouTube. So fuck you. You know, we want.
We've made pretty much zero.
No, through YouTube we made literally zero.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure it's cost us something sometime around the down the line or through the line, out the line.
Oh, they can go back, right? Like on the monetization, they can actually go
take your money back, and now you're like, is that like?
Or they can stop monetization.
Is that like a bank
videos
making you overdraft because something they did, and now they make you pay?
That's that shit that's happening with like Bank of America or whatever, right? Well, motherfuckers are waking up and they're like negative in their bank account.
Dude, I would never bank with Bank of America.
And then they were like, "Oh, but
it's definitely not the Bank of America." Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
They're like, "Oh, well, but it's FDIC insured," and they're like, "Only the funds which were in your account, which are not in your account. If you got overdraft fees, you got bounce check fees,
you gotta pay
whatever,
for all that.
That shit is not covered by FDIC, which is bullshit."
The FDICs.
Yep.
You know, I just reminded myself. I don't know. Have I ever brought up the thought? Okay, how do I?
Well, I don't know.
So one day I was watching. I've been watching. You know, I have some people I follow on Instagram, right, that are from New York.
True.
Right, some Instagram influencers, creators, what have you.
Some thotties?
No.
Oh.
There's some.
What?
There's something about a New York girl with that like abrasive ass accent that isn't always attractive.
Does influencer does it transcend gender? So like, can like a man also be considered an influencer, or is that just like a Instagram thotty?
Don't be such like a.
Well, I pigeonhole these women, you know.
You pigeonhole women? What? That's
only the ones on Instagram that you know exploit themselves.
That respond. What the fuck is a pigeon? Anyway, so
New
Yorkers
call them pigeons back.
Have you ever noticed that Norkers say?
I don't want no pigeon.
I get it. You ever notice that New Yorkers when they say, you know how when you say
New Yorkers?
So let's say you were going to go line up for some shoes. How would you say I was over there yesterday? Like I was what?
I think we had this conversation.
We've had this discussion?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The inline, online discussion?
Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely had that
It's
discussion
just definitely annoyed me. Every time I hear it, I'm like, how can you be on that line? You're in the line as one of the people who are in the line.
Yeah.
But on the line would mean that there was a line there and you were standing on it. And you were online.
It's true.
And then when you got off, you were offline. Like now we're talking about the internet.
It's like when we're like, please stand behind this line. But now you're over the line, you know, and you're not behind the line like you're supposed to be.
You've lost me too.
Well, you lost me. So anyway, I would use more sounds. You know, like I was watching a few other podcasts that, you know, their intros a lot more soundboardy. But you don't have any headphones still, and I don't understand, and I would really hope that you would just get them just so that I could play sounds and you can know which sounds I'm playing.
You can play sounds,
you know. Yeah, but you don't know what they are. So like, if you don't hear them, then you can't register that something's happening on this board. Obviously, you see me hit it, you don't know what sound I hit. It's messy. Just get some headphones.
You ever seen those people that get those glasses that let you see, like colorblind folks who get the chance to get those glasses that somehow they allow your eyes to see
The color prism.
what the colors are in actuality and not what you, because some people only see like
Basic primary colors.
primary or like dogs see like, I think in like night vision essentially, like it's just like a really
Yeah, they can see some colors.
but it's super dull, right?
It's not as vibrant as we can see.
You know, like you ever seen those videos?
Yeah.
Those people be so fucking happy.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody got it, they're like, you know, I thought it would look better. Like,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah, somebody made fun of that. And they were like, "This is not what I thought blue would look like."
They said that?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what you anticipated blue to look like.
So I saw one the other day, right? And the dude put them on. He's like, blue. How did you know that? How did you know that's blue? There's never been a day in your life where you saw the word blue and saw the actual color that it was. So how the hell did you know that was blue?
That's true. And you know what?
Blue.
I think that color thing was from New Girl, if I'm not mistaken. Because Winston, I'm pretty positive, was unable to see color.
No, this is an actual thing. People.
No, I know that, but I'm saying
There are real people who
I'm
can't
saying,
see
but
color.
the
You
thing
know
that I was
right?
talking about was like, oh,
I
this
need
is
you
not
to
what
tell
I.
me that you know that.
No shit. But the thing that I was saying, like, I didn't think that's not what I expected blue to look like. I'm pretty sure that was Winston in New Girl who said that.
No, I've seen this in like.
No, I know, but I'm saying, what are you?
I'm like,
You're not the
what
only one talking.
No, but I thought you were telling me what I had saw or heard.
No.
Was in an actual
Nah,
TV show. I was like, oh, okay.
nah, not that. I mean, it could be just you know how social media is. Everything is a rollout. Everything's a setup these days. So who knows? But anyway, we obviously have noticeably been gone for 2 weeks now. Technically, well, it's been 2 weeks since our last episode. That's probably what I should say there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, it's wintertime, things happen, and you know, you just gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is, you know, it's also been that long since we have seen each other. So, what has been any notable experiences, events, conversations? You know, anything that you've had in the last 2 weeks?
So honestly, I have been trying to find a good self-care thing for men, right? Because it's the wintertime, and in the wintertime, since I work outside, my skin be mad dry. I know in general your skin gets dry in the winter, but it'd be outside.
Are you a lotion snob? Or is there certain things?
Well, no, there are certain. Well, I think you should be. You can't just put anything willy-nilly on your body.
Well, but I mean, is there like certain things that you just like? It's a big no for you there. You know?
Oh, I don't like super greasy lotions.
So what do you have a preference?
Yeah, I use specifically Gold Bond with like shea butter.
Yeah, I use Gold Bond. I got a bottle in my.
But the
to show
other
you how
Gold
often I
Bonds,
use it, that's just been in there for a year and a half, 2 years.
Really? Well, you don't put lotion on?
I do. I just don't use it every day. I mean,
When's
again,
the last
I
time you
don't.
put lotion on?
Like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe.
2 days ago.
I don't leave my house that often, you know. And it's when it's negative temperatures.
Dude, I can't. When it's cold outside, like
you
the way
work
it's been,
outside.
I know. I'm saying like
There's noticeable differences in our lifestyles.
I get like super because I guess you know when you like I got like multiple layers on, and I guess what it does is it creates like dryness in my shoulders, bro. There's nothing I can do. I have to fucking put lotion on. I realized it because I ran out of lotion like for like 3-4 days, and I was like scrambling. I had coconut oil I was just putting on my body, right? And that was cool. Like it does its thing, but it's not strong enough.
It's like when Bill Burr said that he didn't know that white people couldn't get ashy until his wife told him.
I'm ashy. No, so I've been trying to find a more, I don't know, intentional routine. Okay. And I think this is important for men to speak about.
I can relate. I think
you should have a routine. So what I did is I was looking for something or a brand that would have like almost a full, like just a full kit. So Scotch Porter, the one I use for beard oil and like beard conditioner, wash and stuff, they have like a hair shampoo and conditioner, right? I got to tell you, first time I've conditioned my hair right after shampooing ever in my life.
Really?
Yeah. I've never said, let me condition my hair now.
Well, Mom's was like the least brand snobby when it came to that shit back in the day. So she would have like
it was whatever
Tresemme,
you could afford, but
Pantene, that type of shit, and she would always have both. Yeah. So I mean, I've used it before.
I mean, yeah, but I don't remember ever using both.
No, conditioner is better. I leave the hair
so,
silky and smooth.
Well, it did actually.
It does.
It does. But I've never used shampoo and done that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I bought Scotch Porter's whole thing, right? So now like I got like a face scrub, which I've had, but like it's a cohesive thing, right? I got the face scrub, I got the face wash, I got the face lotion, I got the beard balms and the hair balms and like so now I'm like getting ready. I can't do it in the morning because in the morning I gotta be in and out. But at night, man, that night shower might be a little long because I'm sitting there just like I no wonder women like doing this shit, lighting candles and whatnot.
Yeah, I think every man should have a woman in their life who is not going to judge them for telling them, listen, I'm trying to up my man game, because sometimes for men it's like a fine line. You can your masculinity can be stricken by just like one word from somebody.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's fucked up, man. Like, listen, we understand that there's like a whole gender war thing going on, right? It is what it is.
Or something.
But men, right? Like, we don't get enough credit for the things that we go through, man.
It's true. Hey, man, listen, I think I don't want to generalize, but for generally speaking, men are tougher on their skin than women and need more healing processes.
Probably. And like, I think there's a negative connotation towards the idea that men should like, not that men shouldn't be well groomed and taken care of, but like, but like when you talk about it in front of other men, I think it can get like, oh, this motherfucker take care of himself, yo. You see that shit? This guy putting lotion on and shit.
What he say in the chronic? He's like, I had to laugh. Dre, I bet he take bubble bath.
This motherfucker putting on lotion, so like he want his skin to look good when he's in his 60s and shit.
This motherfucker want to glow.
He want his skin to look all gleaming and shiny and healthy.
You want to look vibrant?
No, you're supposed to. Like, I can never get with
using vibrant for a man is kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie.
It's crazy.
And that's just what society has done.
Vibrant skin. I want my shit to shine, baby.
Yeah.
But I will say that like it feels different. Like the smells and everything of like that Scotch Porter is dope. So like, man, I've been like on my super smell good lately. I've been like
I feel you.
happy about that shit because I've always done cologne and like the Gold Bond has it's like whatever. Yeah. But like when you add fucking scents that like are all supernatural in your beard and you start sniffing all that shit, you're just like, it's nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, listen, it's no secret that since last year I've been on a journey to more of a healthy lifestyle, right? Like quit smoking, whatever. Even though, of course, my lungs decided to have a breakdown right afterwards.
Breakdown.
But that's kind of like I try to implement things regularly that are better for my physical health, right? So, in addition to making sure that I floss at least 5-6 times a week. I got like these floss pick things, which is dope.
I floss every day, baby. Like, well,
that's not gonna help your physical health. Actually, it might cause you physical harm if you're in the wrong neighborhood. Anyway, so I also got the first time I tried this, I was curious. It's a tongue scraper, right? Tongue cleaner, tongue scraper thing, and it's like Oral-B makes the type of shit, like it's, whatever. But I was like, I wonder if it really makes a difference. You know,
it's funny you bring that up because. I'm gonna let you finish, but
all right, Kanye, go ahead.
I found one yesterday in the house. BB had a brand new one,
yeah.
So I'm actually gonna start using one because I've been intending to buy one just to see how it feels. What? So you haven't started using it yet?
I did.
What do you think about it?
I'm not sure like the
Like,
difference.
how far back do you go?
Well, that's a funny line. That's a conversation that's hilarious if you want to really be
When you
like a
ever,
child about
you
it.
know when you're brushing the back of your tongue and you're just like, like, I gotta brush this shit, but I keep trying to throw up.
As we're trying to like put clips and shit like that on TikTok. There's a TikTok of some girl and she was like in the mirror brushing her teeth and she put a sign on there and she was like, when I first realized I didn't have a gag reflex, she's like, they're gonna like you.
I'd be like, no wonder women don't like this. This is like, dude, there's no way if I could do that if I were gay. Like, I'm like, there's just no way. I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm just not doing it.
There are countless things that I can tell you that I'm not doing, and
like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be that guy.
No. But yeah, that's hilarious when you think about it. But no, so like it's. I'm just curious about like
what's it made of?
I think it's plastic, but then like
CBB got like a metal one.
But the part that's like you use on your tongue, it's like there's rubber bristles, and then there's like the tip of it's like a plastic scraper. It's not really a scraping, you know. But you're supposed to like essentially brush your tongue with it, and then just like pull.
All I got
the
is
scraper
this
out
one
to-
is only like a puller. So like if you brush your tongue and then go back down there,
That's why the rubber bristles is probably better, you know, just so that you can kind of like. I'm not trying to like put all of my weight and scrape my tongue like that. You know?
yeah, you know what
I
makes
need
me
my
think? It makes me think about those people that like stuff swords down their throats and shit. What the fuck are you doing?
You know, the things that people have.
Do you think they got
decided
really
to do in
clean
their
tongues?
life. I don't know.
Or no tongues because they sliced them the fuck out?
Closer to that, those motherfuckers definitely cut their tonsils
How
out.
did you start that? Is the first thing I want to know.
I'd be terrified to cut my esophagus.
That's a question I often ask. Yeah, for sure. Like, how did you not stab your fucking bladder?
When did you learn that this was a skill? Like, how much science did you do to realize I have to tilt my head back this much so it's a perfect straight line?
Right, and how'd you know that you were able to do it? Right, like can you do it if you have a gag reflex? Because I don't think so.
Somebody learned by sucking some dick. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody did. They were like, "Here's a big dick. I wonder if I could put a sword down my throat with like this."
That's the laugh.
Okay.
Shame
You
I have
know,
to
that's
tell
a
you.
question I often ask. Is like, well, how did that person decide that that's what they were going to start doing? Right, like
There's a lot of things like
you know,
that.
The wingsuit.
Like, who's the person who decided I'm going to eat eggs for the first time? Oh, this fell out of this chicken's ass.
Who's the person that decided they were going to eat ass for the first time? I mean, like, who decided like that's a good thing to do?
I mean, from a male's perspective, just like if the vagina is something that is to be desired, I mean, I can see how that whole area is just like this is nice as long as it all looks good and
It's always so comfy.
it's nice and squishy and.
So have you noticed like a change in your oral health? Pause.
This whole thing is just one big. Just pause for anything in this
Don't
conversation.
actually pause. Keep listening.
Yeah, no. But like pause in like a Jay-Z way because he started the pause thing.
I don't think he did.
I'm pretty sure he did. At least on like a more grand scale. Like I don't know.
I don't think so. But anyway, what are you thinking?
Got to pause that. Whoa, you know that's how I started.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think I guess like overall my mouth feels cleaner, but I just have like
What do you do? Just, like, you just,
well, no, it's not like that. What the hell do you think is in my mouth?
I don't know. But
Pause. No, but like in general, because the whole regimen now, right? Like twice a day. I told you I have like those floss picks, which are basically like they're toothpicks, but they're rubber and they have like little ridges or whatever. So like when you push them through your teeth, catches whatever plaque and shit and pulls it out. So I use those and I use regular floss. And then a brush, and I use the tongue. So it's
God
like,
damn, that's a lot of teeth.
well, it's
stuff.
not every. That's like.
I got to do that same shit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nah,
I got to get to the dentist.
It's good, man. You know, you don't want to have funky breath, and it helps to avoid that.
Yep.
And then particularly, you know, if you are a user of recreational things, oftentimes you can get a cotton mouth type of feel, and it's beneficial for that as well.
Something about I just walk around with a tongue scraper. Man, I got cotton mouth.
Nasty as hell, just big fucking gross smell, and no, I'm good.
That's nasty.
No, and then also the other thing I was trying to implement in my life is, I switched from Old Spice like gel body wash to a much fewer ingredient bar soap. Right?
Is that Sasquatch bar thing?
No, I use the hell's it? Duke Cannon.
Do who?
Duke Cannon.
Sounds like a movie they made about some like badass. It's almost like not maybe like Shaft, but not Shaft. You know what I'm talking about? Like that kind of guy.
Well, I went to like when
it's like the white version. Duke Cannon.
I went to when Bart was talking to Otto on the school bus, and he was like, "Say it in surfer."
My name
I got
is
a blast of
Otto.
Dookie.
I love to get blotto.
The Dookie Cannon.
A Dookie Cannon.
And then so recently I switched to an aluminum-free deodorant.
Makes you stink, don't it?
No,
Which one is that? The Mitchums?
no, it's So, I just bought it the other day. I'll tell you the name of it.
Well, I
After
mean,
when
you
we're
know
on
what?
break,
For
whatever.
you, who exerts like 0 to the 1% of energy a day, I mean, that might work for you.
It's not even true, man. Listen, if it wasn't for the stairs, I'd probably be a big fat ass in this place. But
You have 12 stairs.
I'm up and down them. First of all, there's like 20 stairs, and I'm up and down them.
First of all,
30 times a day.
there's not 20 stairs.
There is.
No, there isn't.
It's closer to 20
Let's
than
go
12.
count them right now.
On break, we will count them. But yeah, just like, all right, you ever see those commercials where that guy's talking about cigarette smoking? And he's like, "That's metal in your lungs." Talking about like there's nickel in cigarettes, smoke, and like whatever. So I was like, all right, well, if you
Commercials
put
used to be so much better.
I say if you got
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
well, slightly different, you know.
it's like
the truth commercial.
You're telling me my brain is like a perfectly cooked sunny side up egg? Because if that's the case,
Could be.
listen, I think
scramble.
if you're using an analogy, it should be something else. Like what you should do is scramble the eggs. Like
Was that? And, remember Harold Kumar? He's like, I'm so high, nothing could hurt me.
no, I'm so high. We're not low.
But yeah, so I was like, okay, well, same thing with your armpits, right? If I'm using an aluminum filled deodorant bar,
What's that?
that's metal in my armpit. So I got an aluminum. I got an aluminum free.
Are you getting
brand.
scared of everything?
No, I'm just trying to make better decisions for my physical health. You know,
Well, that's good.
it's not like big changes. Just still using deodorant, just using aluminum free deodorant.
You've been using a metals in your deodorant for your whole life. It's a big change.
I mean, it's true.
It's like if you were telling me,
But-
like, now I like guys. Like, you've been liking girls for a long time. Is you sure?
Just like one conversation away from like I'm a gay guy now. I'm
Like, just, this is like the conversation right before the one you tell me that you're gay.
You know how I know you're gay? You like Coldplay. Jokes,
Yeah.
which are from 40-Year-Old Virgin, by the way. So
Yeah,
we didn't come up with
if they made a movie about that, this is eventually going to come off. I can feel it. We're screwed.
That's what she said. I have the actual button, but you don't have headphones.
So Vivi, we went to breakfast yesterday, right?
Okay.
And
Important meal of the day.
yeah, it's a pretty important meal. I wouldn't lie. So we were talking about something. Oh, she was on her phone, and you know how like
You're like, woman, we're eating. Get off your phone.
well that, but also we were waiting. So she was looking in, like if you scroll through like some of these people on Instagram, they'll be in like the club or something, or a strip club, and like she's like, is this all the strip club is? Just girls like ass, like just them just shaking their ass, like that's all it is. I was like, yeah, I think so. I was like, I've only been to the one strip club my whole life for Ostrov's thing, but
I mean,
I told her, I was like, yes. And she's like, that's good. Like,
it's not that they're shaking their ass; it's that they're dancing naked, and a lot of dancing involves shaking your ass.
like, I was like, there's not much. Yeah, no. I mean, they're like, if you look at the videos, like where the girls are just literally turned around shaking ass. She's like, that's good enough for you. I was like, yeah. I was like, it's just like. I was like, it's background noise. It's like something on like. I was like, you know how The Office is on when we're just getting ready to go to sleep. I was like. I was like, that's what this is. She's like, I don't think the girls would take kindly to being called background noise. I was like, I don't give a shit what the girls take kindly to, because they're there to shake their ass and get money for it.
Yeah, I don't think they care very much because they're making money to go out there and shake their
Yeah,
ass.
they
and
know
that's
what their job
literally
is.
what they're there for.
They're doing it the whole night. They're literally those
Joe
girls,
Budden was recently talking about how much they charge you to take out singles.
Yeah, man, I was
like,
angry
fuck outta
when
here.
I remember that at the strip club. Like, what is this?
Yeah, but the way he was talking about it sounds like it's way worse.
Yeah, it sounds.
Like, I don't have the kind of money for them to take that much money from me and not notice it.
I couldn't be a frequenter of the strip club anymore. Right? I could go. I could see myself being there, but I can't see myself like throwing money like that. But like I gotta pay this electrical.
The one thing that always like not always because again I'm not like a frequent flyer at any strip clubs, but the thing that was always awkward to me is all right, so like say I go get a dance, right? I'm paying you to come and grind up on me. Well, what can I do in all of this? Do I just sit back and let it happen? Can I touch you? How does this work? And now in today's world, it's even scarier.
Strip clubs are weird, but I do think.
But they're nice though, you know. I understand why people go and conduct business at a strip club.
Yeah, I told her I was like, guys can go hang out, and then there's just butts in front of them. She's like, I was like, this is why women don't seem to understand. Like women,
like you know how girls like to go to like
like
hang out in the gay bars, you know, because they feel better, like they're not gonna get hit on by a bunch of dudes and stuff.
Guys
like that.
like to go to strip clubs because they're not getting hit on by these butts. So I think it's something.
They can just, if they want to go get hit on by a butt, they just go throw a couple 20s at them.
Basically, I was telling her, I was like, listen, women don't seem to like understand how, like when they say how to guys who cheat, like how can you say that you didn't love her but you had sex with her? But like, what happened? Like I'm not a cheater. I never really have been in my life because I just feel like I already be having headaches. Like it's as it is. Like why would I?
No offense, ladies, but y'all are fucking headache.
Why on earth would I add
on 2 legs?
No, I mean it's hard enough to maintain a relationship. Let's try to maintain a second one on the side. That makes sense. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I got other things to worry about. How the fuck I'm gonna try to get rich, run the world, and run a successful relationship, and then hopefully this little monkey wrench that I threw in the fucking mix doesn't come in here and just break everything up.
There was some girl who posted something on Instagram or some shit, right? It was going around, and I was like, man, this girl has one of those progressive lady mentalities. She was like, listen, ladies, you gotta just bring other girls for your man. She's like, listen, here's the thing, men. Their appetite is not built for just one woman, and if you are willingly bringing the other woman to your relationship, you and your man are gonna have a connection like never before. And I'm like, you go, girl. Let me channel my inner Martin. You go, girl.
I would be interested to see what kind of a relationship she's in right now.
I don't know, but her man is probably happy. I don't know.
Probably she may not be. She may be just pretending. But
Listen,
yeah, the
man,
strip club, man. I could literally. I was like, it's just butts, shaking butts. She's like, well, what about the faces? I was like, they're probably nice too. But you don't see those because it's just butts.
It's true.
Literally, twerking it changed the strip club. I think they always twerked. I forget what they used to call it, but it wasn't twerking. It's like popping that ass. Mm-hmm. Popping, pussy popping.
What was
head popping on the handstand.
It was pop, sugar pop.
It's a whole other thing.
Kind of, I guess, but still popping. Whatever. All right. Well, moving on from the adult version of the commentary we've been given. Have you watched anything of any interest recently?
Yeah, I watched Black Hawk Down yesterday.
Okay. Anything from this century that you have watched?
This century.
Early.
I haven't really been watching too much. No, I got to be perfectly honest with you.
Word.
I'm trying to get my Bob Vila on soon, so I've been trying to watch some of that stuff. It's like electrical scares me in the house. Like I don't know if I want to really mess with it.
It's true,
but it's like super important.
But Bob Vila is the better guy to watch because I think he passed, right?
I don't think so.
I thought he did. Anyway, one way or the other,
I'm gonna look right now.
All of his shit is like from the '90s. That's when he was doing all his this old house shit, and because neither of us have a house that was built in this last decade or two, all of the electric work and shit he was doing made more sense for our houses. You know,
he's still alive.
So you can't really. Somebody passed. I thought it was him, but I guess not.
76 years old.
Well, hey man, shout out to you, Bob Vila. Thank you for teaching a bunch of generational men how to do things in their house without having to call somebody.
Word.
That used to be the thing on Sundays, man. Pop would get up and turn on fucking all the DIY shit. You know what's so funny about him? I thought about it the other day. I was like, yo, Pops is a super huge proponent of like the don't pay somebody to do something you can do yourself. But he never seemed interested in starting his own business or anything like that.
He's like, I just got to get this
I always
shit
thought that's
done.
kind of weird. Like, you'll do it without having to pay somebody for yourself and obtain all these skills and learn how to do all the shit. But you're not going to, like, go and try to profit off it at all.
You just didn't want to do that, man.
But why? Why?
Why?
Oh.
I don't know what I was thinking about the other day. It made me think about plastic surgery, right? But is there? I was gonna ask.
Y'all notice that I ask him things and he doesn't ever reciprocate the question? That's crazy. All right, plastic surgery, go ahead.
Well, no, because okay. So actually, a couple things popped in my head, right? The fact that doing chores as an adult, as I get older, it makes me progressively more happy. Like I'm like, oh, I did.
Happy? Is happy the word you want to use there?
Or
feel like accomplished? Feel like you have...
The accomplishment in itself helps that.
Feel like you've been productive with your day?
Oh, I mean, it depends on how many things you do. I mean, waking up is a thing you did, but does it really mean you had a successful day? I'm talking about like, I washed the dishes, garbage is
Well, that's
out.
what I mean by productive. So you got up and you started taking care of things and getting things off your to-do list.
Taking care of business.
That. Exactly that. As they say in today's generation of kids, that part, you know?
That part.
Yeah, that part.
But my big thing was that plastic surgery thing, right? And I don't know what popped in my head.
Where the strip club girls get their asses to shake.
Yeah. A little bit.
Some of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Doesn't jiggle the same way.
It doesn't. It's not the same jiggle.
No.
So it led me to ask, is there anything that you would get
Any workout would get done?
surgered?
Like on myself?
Surgered?
Like on myself?
Yeah.
I think the furthest I would go there, I've made it to 33 just the way I am. But I think the only thing I would really probably do is my laser surgery for my eyes.
You ever see those guys that get like lips? Like, what are you doing? There's like
Guys do that?
Guys do it. I see. Okay, so there's a few fun
Guys who who maintain their guy identity,
Yeah.
they do that. For what reason?
So the only thing I could see, I don't know. It's just hilarious. Listen, you ever see like girls that look like like this?
Yeah.
But so the only thing I would do is get that. I would go to Turkey and get the little hair thing.
What do you mean, like, so that your haircut is always your haircut?
No, like I would get the plugs. 'Cause
Oh.
obviously, as I get older,
Having a little recessions?
there's a little bit of something there. You know, it's not my favorite thing on the planet to deal
Well,
with.
it's probably like the regular hat wearing doesn't really help, probably, you know?
I don't think that really matters as
It
much.
does.
No.
I mean, listen, I'm pretty sure it does, but like...
No.
So is that like the extent of what you would do?
I think so.
If you were to like get like real rich, would you go and get like a mouthful of veneers?
I don't. If I could help it, I would make my teeth be as healthy and as nice as they could be, and just keep it moving.
Some braces, some whitening.
Yeah, whatever I got to do. But I would rather have my teeth be my teeth than.
I think I would buy a couple of gangster grills and just.
Oh, I would definitely have some.
shiny-ass
I would
mouth.
definitely have some like some cool ass grills and shit. But like, I wouldn't. I don't think I would do the whole full set of veneers. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pull the teeth that currently exist in my mouth unless it's necessary. Like, I already didn't want to get
They
the
don't
wisdom
pull
teeth
them.
pulled,
They shave them down.
and then they put caps on them all.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, nah, I'm good.
Just sitting there shaving my teeth down. Now I can't ever
But
get them back.
I was curious because I had a root canal back in the day, right? I was like 16 when I had that shit done. And so I have a cap, and it's been like that now, 17 years, the better part of my life. So I'm like, I don't know how these things all work, but is there a certain point where I'm supposed to go and get that replaced, get a new one?
Couldn't tell you.
How does that all work? So
Dude, I've been to the
that's
dentist.
Part of my next
Very.
seldom,
No, seldom's not even the word.
rarely,
Like, ever.
occasionally. Oh, ever.
No, I've been to the dentist, but it's been a long time. It's been a very long time. But no, okay.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna go for a cleaning soon too.
I think that's what came to my mind. So I think I had heard something about like brain surgery, like transplant type shit. So what happens, right? Like,
What capacity? Like, what are you doing to your brain? Are you moving it to a different like
Person?
shell? You know, put it in the computer?
I don't know. I just know that I keep hearing these weird ass things that are going on, right? Like, I think they do like face transplants. So now I've got your face. It's like face off.
Yeah, I don't want anybody else's face though. Like,
There's a lot that I wouldn't do.
I gotta say, I haven't had many complaints about my appearance from the fairer sex.
Who's the fairer sex?
Well, it used to be women. I don't know how that works in today's world. But
Why are they the fairer sex? Like, what? We're not fair.
I don't think it has anything to do with them, like fair, like equality, fair. Like,
Is it like when they call you fair skinned?
no, because that would imply that all women are light skinned. I don't know what makes them fairer. All right, all I know is that's how they used to refer to them. I don't know how it works today.
The fairer, which is a whole nother thing.
No, listen, we do not support the comments made by Kanye West. Not all of them. No, but like, if there was like something, a constant in my life where women were like, bro, you need to change that. First of all, I'd be like, listen, don't ever call me bruh like that. But second of all, maybe I should revisit and determine like how do I rectify this situation. I don't really have anything like that, man. To be honest, the biggest problem for me has been my vision. But luckily, it hasn't really deterred me from doing things that I want to do. Like even when I played basketball and I didn't have contacts and I had to take my glasses off, I was still able to play. Even though I have to wear glasses technically on my license, still able to drive. And I whip that motherfucker around. All right. It hasn't really deterred me in my life. It's just the only thing that I would change so I don't have to wear these fucking things all the time.
Okay, that's fair enough. Like my only thing is, mine is probably like a thing where I become self-conscious of that, and yours is probably just because I'd like to not have to use glasses all the time. That's
exactly right.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you see your glasses as somewhat as an accessory for you sometimes?
I do. I usually feel that way when I first get a new pair of glasses, right? So like the other ones I had before these, when they were fresh, brand new pair, and I was like, oh, I'll pick these out just because I like the way they fit on my face.
In that same vein, do you wish or would you prefer to have multiple selections in terms of what you can use for eyewear, right? Like, would you like to have like a gray, a white, a red pair? What, you know what I'm talking about? As in terms of success, in terms of an accessory. God damn. Slow down.
I mean, I guess like it couldn't hurt, but it wouldn't be about the color for me because black works for everything, right?
Right. What, the frame style?
The frame style would be more.
Like, what's another frame you would use?
I don't know what they're called. I don't know the names of the frame, and even if I did, I don't think the viewers would understand.
You into that vintage look type shit?
Nah, but I would just kind of switch it up a little bit, whatever. So if I was going to like a fancier event, let me put on some fancier style. Fancier shade.
Okay. So that being said, if you were to go get your LASIK and you didn't need any more, would you still look to have these frames with no prescription in them as an accessory?
No. If I got LASIK,
not every day, but like
if I got LASIK and I didn't need glasses anymore, the first thing I would do was punt these motherfuckers down the block.
Well, not those specific.
Well, I wouldn't punt them because I just bought them for like almost $300.
Not them per se, but maybe for the sake of the argument. So you're telling me that you wouldn't like? Let's say we're going to a wedding. And you find yourself a nice pair of and we got a little money out this time. Maybe the Patreon is finally caught on a little bit. And you see some I don't know, some like Cartier frames or some shit, right? But with no prescription in them, would you look to have some stuff like that?
Nah. Because for the longest time,
the frames be dope, bro.
It's true, but for the longest time, it's like I have to wear glasses for everything I do. So for the longest time, it was like, let me get contacts so I can take my glasses off for this event. You know what I mean? I'm
only asking because I don't know the perspective.
And I also enjoyed being able to, if it was like let's say it's a wedding event type of thing, right? And it started earlier in the day, and you have to be there for whatever this part. The way our family used to do it, you'd go to the church, then throughout you'd be there by 12 o'clock it'd be finished, and then you go and party at the end of the night type of shit. So to throw on a little suit, get my little fucking Men in Black sunglasses on and shit like that. Okay. That is one thing I would do.
I can see that. I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, and they do those too. Like that's one thing I've considered is just another $300 investment essentially. But you can get the prescription sunglasses.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Actually, that was actually that popped in my head a few seconds ago. I forgot to ask about that. Is that prescription sunglasses?
Yeah.
But so the reason why you
because those are better than
LASIK
like the
now is what?
transition. You know, they have like the transition lenses, right? Like,
Yeah.
those apparently aren't great on your eyes. So I would get prescription sunglasses before I got those.
And you can't get LASIK, right? Like you're not a candidate.
I can, and I think I've talked about this before, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think like I have to speak to a doctor on a modern day situation. But basically, what they told me, and this is like early LASIK, when LASIK was like first becoming a thing, they were like, you would be a candidate where like my right eye, which is the better vision, that they can correct that 100%, right? Give me 20/20 in that eye. But then the left eye, they would correct it to like, and the way he worded it, maybe I just misunderstood, but it sounded like we can make your left eye vision so that you can see out of it to the degree you can see out of your right eye with glasses today. I'm like, well, that's pretty fucking good. That's why I'm able to. That's why I'm able to continue living life at this point. You know. But I don't know. I mean, maybe they've changed things since LASIK has kind of developed better. And
am I misremembering the fact that Ish said that on the pod that he has the same type of vision? Like I think Ish had said he didn't get LASIK because they said that his eyes, like maybe in the same vein as yours, is one is worse than the other, but so much worse that maybe doing it wouldn't.
I would still have to wear glasses.
Wouldn't be advisable, or
it
would be kind of.
You would still have to wear glasses.
Yeah,
is the thing.
Point almost.
So like one of them would have a prescription lens, and to your point, the other one wouldn't, and it just like
you ever go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and miss the toilet because of this?
No, never in my life.
Peeing like right beside the toilet into the bathroom, into the garbage.
No. What I thought was hilarious, I was thinking about it the other day. I was walking the dog, right? And you remember back in the day, you used to have that poster in your room that was like all the different kinds of shits.
Oh.
I was like, so like if you go to the bathroom sometimes, right? You get that feeling, and then you get up and there's like nothing in the toilet.
Yeah.
Do dogs have that situation where they like feel like they got to take a shit and then like squat down?
It's just gas.
It seems like they never have that issue. Like it's always they just take a shit.
Yeah, dogs seem to be able to shit pretty quickly. But to be fair, it looks like there's not much room between where they eat, where it comes out. So
I mean, it's a pretty long torso. I don't know.
Yeah, but like even for that to be the case, it doesn't look like it would take long to get out.
I never think about it in like terms of how big your body is, how long it is from enter to exit. But I just was like, they just have like weird things.
That's how I always think about it. I remember like,
well, no, because when they tell you
think about like humans in layman terms, right, or just like some like super ignorant, not very knowledgeable about our species yet type of thing, you would think, all right, well, if you eat the food. And it just comes out right there. It's just the literal. Just
the logistics would say that it'd be an hour, maybe.
Who would have thought that? If you really think about it,
because what is it? Your small intestine? That's like
it goes through your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, and out your pooper.
There's a whole lot of. It's like a whole thing.
It's a really roundabout way of saying I got to take a shit, right? Like instead of it just coming straight out, it's got to go all like through the neighborhoods and the city and do a whole sightseeing thing, and then.
There's a.
I feel like they say there's miles of intestines inside of us. I know that's incorrect.
No, they said that there's. I don't know how long specifically, but it's a lot.
I'm gonna look because it's not miles.
If you watch YouTube regularly, you probably seen those advertisements where the guy's like, "Oh, everybody has an average of 5 pounds of poop just like stuck in their body, whatever it is."
That's a lot of poop.
Yeah, man.
Where's
that's
it
a lot of
stuck
pounds,
at, dude?
I don't know, but. I bet you I'd feel a lot better if it was out of there.
Together, your small and large intestines are about 15 feet or more in length. According to the 2014 study, the total surface area of your intestines is about half the size of a badminton court. Fuck! How big is a badminton court?
I don't know, man. I only know the size of a basketball court.
Your intestines have the very important job of helping to break down and absorb nutrients from what you eat and drink. How long is your colon in miles? Small intestines in an adult is 7.5 meters long, while length of large intestine is about 1.5 meters. The total length of small and large intestines could be 26 feet, not 26 miles.
Well, I mean, it makes more sense, I guess.
It's a whole marathon. I'm just laying my intestines out.
I guess that makes more sense because if it was miles, like how thin are your intestines really?
Everybody would be my 600-pound.
It really shows you how important it is.
Everybody would be a bunch of fat fucks walking around because it's all in our bellies.
It really emphasizes how important it is to chew your food thoroughly. You know. Masticate, y'all.
Who?
Masticate.
Isn't that
It means to chew.
Nasty sex thing?
No, it means to chew.
Masochist.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. And that's like a pain thing with sex.
Yeah. I was like, massacate. Okay. Well.
Nah. Masticate.
Masticate.
Hudson. Mast, like on a boat.
Masticate Hudson.
Was that like a before and after puzzle on Wheel of Fortune?
Oh man, I fucking hate those.
Masticate Hudson.
Hey, have you seen Funny People? I mean, not Funny People. You People?
No, not yet.
God damn it! All right, we'll watch it. We'll talk about it next week.
You watched it?
Yeah.
That's Jonah Hill, Laura London. Right?
Yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it, but I also had a lot of uncomfortable moments in it, and I just didn't like.
All I saw was the clip
like,
when they like first met in where he thought was an Uber.
When you watch it this week if you can, and we'll talk about it because there's like a lot of like. Okay, so I would expect there to be some uncomfortable parts of the movie because, I mean, the subject matter is somewhat of a touchy subject in this.
Yeah, I know. World. So Lauren London plays basically a black Muslim girl, and she has a romantic interest with Jonah Hill, who's a Jewish guy,
white man.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Drake.
Right. No. So that alone, it's like the don't mess with the Zohan type of.
When you watch it, you're gonna be like, okay, this is. So again, it's good.
Romeo and Juliet style fucking shit.
They could have made it different, right? But I do think there are some cool parts. But
Eddie Murphy's in it too, of course.
Eddie Murphy, yeah. There are just some uncomfortable parts that didn't need to be uncomfortable, only because of the way they approached it. I just think that they could have done it a little differently.
Well, Jonah Hill, is a real interesting looking dude these days, though. You know.
Yeah, but I like Jonah Hill a lot, man. Like he's literally, he's a pretty brilliant actor in his own respect.
He is.
He's done a lot of good shit.
Yeah, it's funny. Seth Rogen said that there hasn't been a good high school movie since Superbad.
Yeah, and I think that's probably true.
I wonder if there's one coming. Like if he's thinking about like.
I would assume that they would try to put something together.
Yeah,
I like a lot of his products. I forget what they
call
them.
You bought a bottle of lube, man? He's like, these aren't dried up old ladies. They're 18-year-old girls. They're ready to go.
His houseplant brand or whatever. Jonah or Seth Rogen. Yeah. It's a lot of but it's expensive, man. Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about getting a couple pieces. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Watch the movie. And then we can discuss it. Because I don't want to like give away anything before you watch it. Again, some of the points I was just like I didn't want to watch anymore because I was just like this is a little
cringy.
Yeah, there's some cringe stuff because it was approached with such a lack of. I don't know. Some of it there could have been a little bit more, I guess, couth, if you will, in the way that they kind of they approached the subject. Sometimes I'm just like, that was unnecessary. That was unneeded. What was the point of that? It's too cliche. Blah blah blah. Watch it. We'll talk about it.
All right, word.
Okay.
In the meantime, what I have been watching, I think I talked about this on our 2 weeks ago podcast, but the wrestling shit, right? The Stone Cold, whatever. So I finished watching like all the YouTube clips that Attitude Pop has of that because I started with 0304 like when he was the Code GM, and then I went back to like the beginning, whatever. So I switched to Xfinity recently, and Xfinity comes with Peacock Premium. And what they have on there is Stone Cold's podcast.
Oh, that's dope.
So I started watching that, and the first 2 episodes are Vince McMahon and then Triple H.
Okay.
And so he's just talking about like, whatever. Obviously, there's a large focus on the Attitude Era, and just like, it's funny because you get kind of insight about like when people ask them, is it real? Is it fake? Do you get injured? Like, is there any animosity with people in the locker room? So there's just a lot of that type of shit, and it's for people like us who watched so like fucking religiously back then. It's just like interesting to kind of get that perspective,
This is gonna go. So let's go to break, and we'll come back for this because I was gonna kind of piggyback that with I watched a interview with Triple H discussing his
his like heart thing, right?
His heart thing, yeah. So we'll get to some of that wrestling when we come back from break.
Cool, then we'll be back.
All right.
We back up in this piece. You know what I mean? So Yeah, we're talking about Stone Cold and his pod and whatnot.
Right.
So Triple H.
Yeah.
I also had just recently watched this video too.
You watched that same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Triple H, for those who are unaware, is now like the head of creative development, whatever his position is now. He's basically like the new Vince McMahon, right?
I don't know that that's the right way to put it. I think
it is basically based on what his conversation with Stone Cold was on the podcast. He basically like now determines like where the storyline is headed and helps get people's like intros and all that shit situated.
Interesting. That's pretty good. I like that.
So yeah, he was basically saying like he had like a near death run in.
Yeah.
Which stopped his in ring action.
Run-in? A near-death run-in? I don't think that's the way that's supposed to be.
Okay, well, word it the right way then, Mr. Wordy McGee. Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
I don't know.
he had an experience which basically forced him out of in-ring action.
Yeah, I think he was like really close to heart failure.
It was like a hereditary thing, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, because I guess for all intents and purposes, he's a pretty in shape individual. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and that's what he's saying. Like, I eat right, I don't drink, I don't smoke.
He doesn't drink, smoke, drugs, none of that. You know,
probably if you don't count steroids.
Probably sleeps well.
I imagine steroids was a big part of his. When he came back from like his, so I told you I was watching like in chronological order for like the Stone Cold focused story.
Yeah.
And when Triple H first came back, like he had like some back surgery or some shit like that. I think it was caused by Stone Cold dropping him from a forklift in a car.
Really?
I don't know, but that shit is hilarious. I don't blame him. Like if I was Stone Cold, I would have murdered everybody at a certain point when you were just watching that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he was out for like a year or so. Obviously, Stone Cold also had a couple of stints where he was out for extended period for rehab purposes, or whatever, and like body rehabilitation, not like drugs. Just to make that clear.
Body and soul.
But so he came back and like,
can you give me a Stone Cold impression? You son of a bitch.
it's hard to give like that fucking.
You son of a bitch.
That hillbilly.
I can't. I'm not a hillbilly, so.
I always have been quoting since I started watching. Just when he's working the crowd, and he's like, "If you think I should whip Vince McMahon's ass right now, give me a hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!" That shit is hilarious. Nobody worked the crowd. Well, I mean, there's a certain point where he was like yelling. Essentially, it didn't sound like so much of his southern draw.
It was just him literally just trying to get people so people can hear it.
Yeah,
because man, that stadium, I cannot imagine.
Nobody worked the crowd like Stone Cold did.
I don't think that there's much that you can. God damn, man. I don't think you can compare the feeling to much that is that Stone Cold felt when. When that music dropped and that pop,
the fucking glass shatter,
that pop that you get from the stadium,
and everybody just stands up.
Yeah, that's what they call it, a pop, right? Like,
that's why they call it attitude pop.
Attitude pop, yeah. So,
but that's like a business term too. Right?
I don't think many people garnered, or anybody maybe in the history of the WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it.
I feel to take this thing off.
Oh, I don't know that there's many people that, or if any, that have ever gotten such a response from the fans.
No, maybe The Rock. He's the only one who's probably close.
But you might be right there. They had.
It's so funny his persona in wrestling, man.
The same people that like Rock still love Stone Cold. The people that vice versa. But I don't know. I don't know how that could have felt. Like I don't think any stadium filled with whatever sport you want to put in there has ever experienced such a loud. Not that it doesn't get loud, but that first few fucking seconds of just pure elation and
like just the fact that he was in the building and he was coming out now to the middle of the ring, like everybody was super excited.
I'm happy to say that I was in the building when Michael Jordan played once, one time. We were there. We've discussed that on this pod.
I could have swore it was twice.
No, it was once. One time.
All right, say so.
Listen, man, I know. I would know. I would remember that second time. No, it was one time we saw MJ play. And we saw Stone Cold twice. Right? And that's pretty cool. Both two bald-headed men. One's black, one's white.
Different walks of life.
From different walks of life. Man, that would be a great TV show. Stone Cold and Mike. Mike's
Mike and Steve Austin. MJ and Steve Austin has to be like, yeah, you have to give the
MJ and the Texas Rattlesnake. Right? Like,
it's so funny when
can you imagine like how that would be, like the adventures they would go on, walking through like Stone Cold's ranch in Texas, and the things they would do, and then them going for a round of golf on Michael Jordan's golf course.
I wonder if they've ever met in person. I wonder what that conversation was like.
So I think that
their respective goats in their fields.
They would. I would hate to hear that they never met each other,
or that they didn't like each other when they met.
I'm gonna be honest. They probably never met each other.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Like Mike Tyson was in the ring with Stone Cold.
What the fuck does that got to do with Michael Jordan?
There's constantly like huge people at the wrestling events.
That Attitude Era was pretty much in the tail end of that Michael Jordan second dynasty.
Stone Cold started his WWF intro was in '96, so we got to the height of in '98. And again, they traveled the world every week. Like they were constantly all over the place.
They traveled the U.S.
The U.S., yes. Right. Whatever. Anyway, there's like always huge basketball stars. LeBron James was in the stands in '03. Like, you know what I mean? There's people, big names, constantly at the front of the gates watching the wrestling shit happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if they met. I would just be curious to know what that conversation was like.
I'm gonna say that
I gotta feel like there's like a round table of the goats.
As much as I'd like to say that they've met, they probably haven't. That brings me to another thing, since we're talking about goats, dynasties, and farms, I guess. So they were on All the Smoke talking to Magic about dynasties, right? And
did you watch that bird magic thing? Snow's melting out there.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you watch that bird magic? It's like HBO Max has a.
No, I haven't. It's on there now. I should check that out.
I watched that the other day too.
That's a whole nother important part of the history of the NBA. But they were asking Magic about whether or not the Detroit Pistons from the 80s can be considered a dynasty. And there seems to be some sort of discussion on what the parameters may be. Some people are saying, like, did you do it? Do you have to win at least 3 times? Is it a matter of doing it multiple times? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the act? Are you looking up what dynasty means? Okay. I think because they won it, I think twice. I guess you can say that. I guess it's just a run, man.
Yeah, but I think it has to be a run that's sustained for a period of time.
What's dynasty mean?
Let's see. There's some people. Everything that's coming up here is about like a bloodline of people who've been rulers and.
Well, I mean, that's valid. The Bulls, the bloodline of the Bulls, we were rulers for 6 out of 8. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where my opinion lies on that. I was just kind of trying to get your opinion on whether or not you will consider somebody who's only won 2 championships.
I mean, I guess technically it does fit it. It says a series of rulers or leaders who are all from the same family or a period when a country is ruled by them.
Okay, well, how long is the ruling is really what the question is here. How long do you have to have ruled for it to be considered a dynasty, effectively?
One of them also says the period of a time when a particular dynasty is in power.
Okay, so let's put it this way. If they're a dynasty, what do you consider the Bulls of the 90s, right? Were they an empire?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they didn't start considering the Blackhawks a dynasty until they hit their 3rd.
That's true. My definition or what my
You have to have a
interpretation-
sustained run. You know, like if you're technically
2 is technically sustained, but
because
3
if you
is
say
not.
just like you ruled for that period of time, you could say that every year there's a dynasty that lasts one season.
Well, 2 years
you know?
is important, but I my particular interpretation of what a dynasty is going to be that you have to at least win 3 times.
I would say
3
the
or more
first one.
championships in a row, which obviously nobody does the 4 in a row, but at least 3 in a row, or two different times.
I'll wrap it up the way that Fez wrapped up his how he wraps up his sexual experience when he's talking about it in that '70s show. He's like, I have to have at least 3 times. The first one, I'm going to be nervous. The second time, I have to make up for being nervous, and then the third time is when we really have fun.
I'm sorry for the first time.
I think it makes sense, right? Like the first time could be just like a one-off, like, oh shit, things kind of just fell into place.
Toronto.
I didn't necessarily maybe belong in
The
this,
Toronto
but I
championship.
kind of beat all odds to get here. The second one, like, yo, you thought the first one was a fluke, but we did it again. You know what I mean? We proved all the people who thought like, oh, you didn't really have any business there. And the third time, we're like, yo, we're dominant. We are running.
So
shit.
Miami, in their run, wasn't a dynasty either,
No.
but they won
How you
2.
gonna be a dynasty? You got
So what
swept.
do you give the? What is the word you would give the teams who won 2? Do they have are they allocated as a specific
I think you just had
thing or version of it?
I think you have a successful campaign, and maybe you are en route to a dynasty.
That's too much wording for just one for saying they won 2 championships in a row.
Okay, well, 2-time champs.
So it's just as simple as that.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. Okay, so let's say you have a team that is largely composed of the same players for a 7-season stretch. Okay, and in that 7 seasons, you won 3, you lost 4. Are you a dynasty now?
Did you win 3 straight? Did you win 3 straight?
No,
No.
because
So it was like
Blackhawks. To be
yeah,
fair, they were 3. They were like 3 and 5.
Technically
or
not a
something like that.
dynasty, but the fact that they did it 3 different times, separated by a year each, was enough to say, okay, well they
3 and 5. I mean, yeah.
That's a
If you
different
won more
story.
than you lost in that time period,
Yeah.
you know.
That's another thing. The ratio of wins to losses. So a team that wins 3 out of 3 out of 7? You said the 4.
Yes, yeah.
3 out of 7, and let's say they won.
And they weren't back
the
to back.
first year. They won back to back, and then if they win back to back. So hear me out. If they win back to back the first and second year, and then they come back 2 more years and they win another one, dynasty.
Okay. Lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose.
Wait, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. So 3 out of.
I guess yes, you can because
I
you can
guess
just
so, man. That's a lot of championships.
because you don't have to
That's a
consider
lot-
the last one. I
That's
mean.
a lot to win. Yeah, the last year, if you didn't win, lose it.
But I'm just saying because
it's
you
in
kept
6,
the.
not
I'm
7.
saying because you kept the core of the team together for that. That's where the 7 came in.
I get it, but yeah, I think if that's the case, that's a pretty dominant stretch.
And also, to me, it kind of depends on the competition level throughout the league at the time. Were you going through juggernauts?
I don't.
Were you beating people's asses? Who
I don't particularly
like
think that.
that's what makes Jordan's dynasty
I don't-
special to me.
Yeah, oh no, that makes it special, but it doesn't make a dynasty any less of a dynasty.
I think
It
it
just
does.
makes you a more stronger team.
I think it definitely
It'll make
does.
you
There was.
out of the scale of dynasties, you're on the top of that mountain. But you.
I don't want to shit on too many teams, but let's say 2007 to like 2014.
Spurs
there was
are a
a-
dynasty, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but there was a lot of ass teams in the middle of.
I don't
You know
think
what I mean?
I don't think that consideration of
Do you have a rival?
everybody has a rival regardless.
Is it a rival who is a worthy adversary that you meet regularly in the playoffs? And it doesn't have to be in the finals, but you meet
Teams
them
that never go to
regularly,
the playoffs
and it's a battle.
Two teams that there are plenty examples of 2 teams that never go to the playoffs, but are rivals.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the champions.
Yeah, I think so.
So if you have a championship team, and let's say you have in 5 years you're winning 3 of them, okay? Any fucking set you want to go to, and now you have an adversarial other team that you're facing, and you see them every playoffs, and you guys, it could go either way pretty much with you two, and you guys, it's like a fight, and it's 7 games damn near guaranteed. Like those are things that make those dynasties.
They may make them particularly more impressive. But
what is a dynasty if it wasn't a dominant run?
But I do not agree with the fact that the competition that you face within that year makes your dynasty or breaks your dynasty
within that set of years.
So are you telling me that if for me to kind of see where your head's at, are you saying that if I were to win 3 straight, right? I already off the bat, for me that's a dynasty. Are you saying that if I won those 3 against the same team, or even better than that, I won 3 straight, the first 2 against the same team, right? Crazy, and that was a battle. The third one was against a team that wasn't necessarily our rivals, and they were like the team that kind of like we described, the stars aligned and we just made it there. Is that third one, since it's a lesser from what you're saying, championship, right? Does that negate the dynasty from happening?
I'm just saying if you are like the undisputed big dog in the league, your team, like there's not another team that's really like nobody's holding a candle to you, and you have an easy path to the final. Not that it's easy path ever, because it's a grind. 82 games is 82 games, but like for instance, the longest time it's been East has been kind of weak in competition. West has been full of juggernauts. Now the East, whoever comes out of the East usually has a pretty easy path to the finals if you're considered the dominant team in the East. You know what I mean?
I think that's
because the West is so stacked.
I don't believe that's any.
No, I know.
I don't think that's the case anymore.
No, I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying like there was a period in time where the East was always considered like
yes,
you know,
without a doubt.
So now you made it through all those teams. Now you have to go through what's considered the best in the West. But in order to get to the top in the West, you have to beat a lot of people in your conference like regularly. You know. I don't know. It's just weird. I guess.
My argument against yours is that I don't believe that a dynasty is any less of a dynasty because of the competition in the league being a little lesser during their particular time.
Okay, let me ask you: do you put an asterisk on a dynasty that is, for instance, the let's say the Heat? Okay, we're saying that they're not technically a dynasty.
They're not.
But let's say that they won 4, 5, 6, whatever their stupid ass fucking conference was, but they joined together to go and put on a super squad. Is there an asterisk around their dynasty now because they had to like literally go and link up with each other and all meet together in a, you know what I mean?
I don't believe there's an asterisk on. I think what there is an asterisk on is different from that. Right, like I believe there is. I believe there is something to be said about that particular part of it, but I don't think it means that because again,
you don't think it takes away from the power, the magic. There's like when you're a team, especially like an underdog story type of team, right? And you come up and you beat the odds, and you're the champion now. There's a magic around that time period. They didn't win that
first year.
No, they didn't. They got swept.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when you're a team who you came up through the draft and all of your talent was developed in house. And now you like there's a magic that comes around it.
Very fucking rare.
Fine, but if every team is a dynasty, then there's no dynasty.
Right, but that's not the case. There's not a lot of dynasties. If we're talking about dynasties in the NBA, we're talking about the Celtics, the Bulls, the Lakers. I'd say the Spurs, right? Because of obviously
Detroit now apparently.
Detroit only won 2, and they didn't.
Well, that's what started the conversation.
Or 1 maybe actually. Did they win 2? 2, I think. But they didn't. They're not a dynasty either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's what started the conversation.
Wait. I'm thinking about the newer Detroit back then.
No,
they're not a dynasty either. Because through our own parameters that we've established, you can't be one if you've only won 2.
But our parameters don't mean shit. So
well, I mean, for our argument.
So I'm just saying, like, if
and I believe a lot of people are on the side of that. If you win 2, you just aren't. You didn't get to that level. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
well, because that's the thing, right? You're looking at the team that is the winningest, right? I don't know if that's the correct word, but essentially you're looking at the winningest team, and you're matching up to that, right?
Not particularly. So the most winningest team doesn't.
I mean championship wise.
Oh yeah.
The ones who have seen the promised land the most. You are basically measuring your success against them. So if you are winning 1, everybody wins a championship. Every year there's a champion. So it could be 30 years, 30 different teams winning a championship technically. So you got to compare yourself against the winningest of the units.
We are going to compare the greatest teams to the greatest teams.
Right. And
But
that's how you determine if
I'm
you're a
not
dynasty. I mean,
comparing- but
let's say there was never a
in that
three-peat.
comparison, though,
Let's say there was never a three-peat in the NBA.
ever it's never.
Let's say
occurred.
that it was never 3 and 5. There was never a winning
it's never
in that.
occurred.
So then that changes the definition of a dynasty now, no?
Yeah, there would be no dynasties if no 3.
But that's not an actual fact.
Yeah, but I mean, I think.
That's something that we created based on the fact that there have been multiple teams who have won 3 in a
This is
row,
all
won-
hindsight, right? Because we can't see.
that's what I'm saying. So it's all
from
subjective.
Here, looking back, we know how hard it is to win in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that what that takes, and to see that there's only been a few teams that really, really dominate in that particular manner, those are the dynasties. But going backwards, you can't say that this is what a dynasty.
But that's
is
what I'm
gonna
saying.
be.
So if there's never been a team, if there hasn't been a three-peat Lakers, if there hasn't been a three-peat twice Bulls, if there hasn't been teams that have won 3 championships back to back to back, now what you're measuring up against is different. So now you can still have a dynasty, but it doesn't call for you to win 3 championships in a period of time.
I'm sure a dynasty used to be but before it wasn't like it was just the reigning champs.
Rockefeller Records was the dynasty,
my
but
only
they weren't
argument-
3 albums deep.
My only argument against yours is that I don't believe that. I believe in the pool of great dynasties, right?
You could be a great team and not be a great dynasty. Let's also get that.
Oh, that too. But within your respective, the great dynasties are compared to each other. And I guess you can say in that regard, like, okay, MJ has some stiffer competition, Steph Curry, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it.
So there's levels to this
because
shit, like everything.
Because Golden State is a dynasty now, too.
Golden State is, yes. No disrespect to them. I didn't mean to leave them out.
No, not at all. It's just what the conversation is. But so you can compare those. I do believe that when you get below that and you're just talking dynasty to non-dynasty teams, then there is no, although their competition was this, right? Because I think that when you're judging them against their peers, fine, rate them against their peers. But when you're judging them against, I guess, lesser teams.
But how does that work that way?
What do you mean?
Like if you're saying,
because now
if the people who are LeBron stands are saying, oh, LeBron is the GOAT because he's faced different competition, which is not true. But if they said that, then you're comparing his.
I don't
greatness
never
level.
listen to that.
That's fine, but it's an argument that is pronounced in basketball.
I'm saying that, let's say we're all on a race, right? All the teams start here, and the teams that get to everybody's trying to win a championship, and maybe this team wins 3, right? Once this team wins 3, it's still in the fight.
Yeah, but you're not starting it early enough. What you're starting it is the GMs are lined up and they're drafting. And they're picking their players. And now all of a sudden, this player's chance of winning is this much higher, and this one's because that matters. All that shit plays a part.
I'm way better than you, so I'm gonna probably win more.
So now,
games.
if this lower tier team is beating this guy,
okay, by this same reasoning, you're saying that the team that had MJ is a lesser of a team.
No.
Because they had MJ as
I'm
their
saying
starting.
is that the competition level in the league at the time was
you're
all up here.
No, dude, that to me makes sense. You're saying that because they faced lesser competition, they're lesser of a dynasty. Then that to me lends itself to the idea that
who are we talking about?
You're saying you said that teams that face.
Yeah, but which team are you talking about? Because I'm not saying anybody else.
Team X.
What I'm saying is this: in the Jordan era of the league, where his Bulls were the dominant force for 3 back-to-back and another 3 back-to-back.
Right? Is that
the competition level in the league was all top tier?
But are they lessened because they had MJ on the team now?
No. They're heightened because every team that they had to go through was a team with all stars on it.
Not as good as MJ though.
So
they weren't. They were.
He didn't win it. He didn't win it by himself.
So they had a chance.
He didn't win it by himself.
So, but I'm just saying, I'm
It's a team
playing
game.
devil's advocate. But
you're playing a horrible devil's advocate.
But to that point, they were lesser players than MJ, so they never had a chance anyway. So that the Bulls were going to win, so it was loaded.
Yeah, but it's not like he can go and play one versus 5.
So MJ's going to win, so it's a loaded season anyway. I'm just saying that's what I'm interpreting.
Well, you're interpreting it wrong.
I'm telling you right now, once you get to the promised land of being a dynasty, right? The gates open for you and now you don't have to worry about ever leaving because you're a dynasty now, right? You can be judged and talk shit in that playground. We're better than you. You ain't have to face him. We faced him, motherfucker.
But the art of this, the art of this is literally the debate about what makes who greatest. That's all. That's
Well,
what
no,
where the arguments always
the
go.
argument was what makes you a dynasty.
Yes, and I'm arguing that there are levels to the dynasty.
So a team winning against 3 trash ass teams
It's still a dynasty, right?
Okay, that's it.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
True.
Once they
but
get to
a team
you're
wins
saying-
three in a row against a juggernaut in the league, they are an arguably more dominant dynasty.
You win 3 before us,
Uh-huh.
right? The last decade.
Yeah.
You win 3. They were, I'd say, all formidable, right? Let's say that if
Fair to earn the league, so they're going to be technically to some
formidable
degree formidable.
opponents, right? And so it's like, cool, you got 3.
Mm-hmm.
I come along, and 10 years later, we win 3.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm not saying 3 and 5, whatever you want to call it, but let's say out of like 6 years, you win 3.
Fine.
Now for me, I'm still a dynasty too. We got that.
True. But so are you saying that there is not levels?
No, let me finish the point real quick for a second. So,
well, why should I let you finish your point? You didn't let me finish my point.
In the league, right? We've won 3.
Uh-huh.
So out of this league of my peers,
So we're equal.
we're well, no, not us. We're not.
Why not? I won 3 and you won 3, just in different decades, but we're not equal.
No, you and I.
Come on, we're
because
equal now.
we can start to talk about the comparisons to
That's my point.
our thing. But
That's exactly my point.
I'm fighting the idea.
There are
I'm fighting
levels.
your idea that the team, me, away from you, like separating from what you are,
Mm-hmm.
me being a dynasty in my league, my era, because I won maybe against lesser teams, doesn't make me less of a dynasty. When I get to you, it does. But to them, they could kiss my fucking ball sack.
So in your respective field of players, in your respective field of teams,
Yes.
during your stretch,
Yeah,
you
can't
are
don't
the
talk to me.
dynasty.
Talk to me nice.
But when you
Talk to
come,
me
but when you
nice.
come and look at my
You can tell me,
dynasty,
talk to me nice.
when you come and look at my era of a
You can say,
dynasty,
talk to me nice.
now you're like, yeah, no.
Because your era was.
So that's all I'm saying to you is that there are levels to the dynasties, right?
Once you get to the level of the dynasties, the comparison of dynasties.
Yes,
But when
of course, that's what I'm saying. We can argue all day about what makes a dynasty a dynasty.
Yeah, it's hard. But
I think that there
for
are
me,
factors that make
just 3.
the 3 in a row less significant than other 3 in a rows.
2.
That's all I'm saying.
When compared to the other 3 in a rows, right?
Yes, and that's exactly where you compare it to.
But-
Were you
yeah,
comparing
but-
it to
but
people who
you're-
didn't
but
win
you
3 in a
said
row?
that in
You
general.
can't compare it to
But
people
you're
who
saying
didn't
that
do what you
winning
did.
one, right? Meaning,
I know what you're saying. You can't compare it to people who didn't do what you
But
did.
that's what you were saying in the beginning. Of
No, I was saying that there are levels to it.
Only in comparison to the other
Yes,
people
so
who
if you
reached
took
that level.
every team throughout the
Michael
history,
Jordan can never be compared to somebody who won even 3 championships.
if you went back
Why?
to
Because
if you went back to 1960s when the combine happened, right, and all the ABA whatever, now the NBA is a thing.
did I miss it? I had a house to paint.
And you took all the teams that you can consider based on the criteria that we laid forth, three winning campaigns in however many years, and you put them all together here. Now you have the dynasties. There are rankings to those dynasties.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
I'd agree. But that's a whole
Not
nother-
every dynasty is created
It's just
equal.
a whole nother list, right?
Yeah, but-
separate from anybody.
But that's what basketball does. That's the art of it.
Obviously, so we're looking to
It's all bragging rights.
We're looking to weed you out. This is the field, as you will, right? Now these 2 teams are better than them. So these guys never ever in their lives shall be mentioned from this era compared with these guys. These guys are another level, right? So we'll take these guys, they throw them in that pool. It's like the common cards in basketball and trading cards, right?
The fluff.
You open another pack of cards. Oh, 2 guys? Yeah, these are the ones. These guys never see you again. Like, that's what I'm saying. So, not to like...
Let's say 92, 93, 94, it wasn't the Bulls. Some other teams came in here and won 3 in a row.
Okay.
And then
They didn't win 84, 9 was 93.
so 91, 92, 93? Mm-hmm. All right, whatever. Well, that can't be right, because then 4, 5, and then
Because they
6,
retired and he
7,
came back
8.
in mid-95 and 18 months
4
later.
and 5 and then 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's say then the other 3, 96, 97, 98, the Bulls came and won.
Okay.
So in that same decade,
Okay.
which arguably a lot, I mean, obviously you have a few players retire here
The
and
Bulls
there,
aren't,
but
the
largely,
Bulls aren't held in the same regard if they don't win those first 3.
well, of course not. But what I'm saying is, if you are comparing that first, 91, 92, 93 three-peat from some other team now, hypothetically, obviously, to the Bulls a few years later doing their three-peat, largely same talent pool in the league. Obviously, some people are in and out of their primes in that time. Some people retire. is that era judged differently now? Are those two
No,
three-peats
because
judged differently?
I think people look at '90s ball, like that 10-year span or so.
They
As
lump a decade into a decade, essentially.
yeah, well, yes, because it's kind of like somehow you make it synonymous with era for some, generational, if you will, that kind of thing. I think people say that the '90s in general were equal in competition, in intensity, the physicality, all of these
And
things.
so when a lot of the comparisons start to happen, and they're like, oh, what was the 72 and 10?
By the way, you saying the Bulls didn't win those first 3 years already changes my whole I'm sad thinking about that.
So all right, Golden State, right? What was that when they won their 72 and 10?
73 and 9. The Bulls?
No, the Golden State.
They did 73 and 9.
Okay, so whatever year that was, then they compare that to the 72 and 10 Bulls. And then they're like, oh, well, this team they compare them because they're across dynasty.
Because not only that, they compare them because they're doing comparable things,
right,
in different eras. But
and so that's where the crux of the issue comes for me is like they're comparing people,
trying to compare eras.
Naturally, as sports fans, as critics who aren't involved in it, the people who are just looking at outside perspective as fans, whatever. They're going to take apart every aspect of the game and compare the teams that they love the most to the people that you love the most based on what they had to go through.
Yep.
The teams that they had to face, the competition level, the people who you had on the team, the coaching, the fucking recovery efforts. Like, there's all that shit that all goes into the debate. So you can't technically take it out. Like,
right.
If you're going to talk about it across the dynasties, it all matters.
Okay.
So my main idea here simply is that there are just levels to it. There are dynasties that are more dominant historically
the list
than other
starts
ones.
longer and gets more concise as they make different lists. This is the pool of the greatest players. Pool of greatest players who won 2 championships. Pool of greatest players who won 3 in a row. Pool of greatest players who won MVP this many. You know what I'm saying?
Pool of greatest players who had worked with one other All-Star on the team.
Of course, once you get to you go as far as you want. You're going to eventually get to the point where you have the greatest players, the MJs and whoever else is.
Which is all still subjective. My list is going to look different than yours, you know?
Of course.
Yeah, I guess that's just the fun of it.
Was I a Utah fan when you beat us twice? Because if so, fuck you, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So it is. I get what you're saying. And I just thought that was an interesting conversation to have because it's different. I mean, again, this is all subjective. It's hard for people to.
Well, people argue
if you ask
about
Isaiah right now, his ass, he'd be crying
he's
about
the most salty
Michael Jordan
guy of all time.
But he'd also say, no, we were a dynasty.
That is the saltiest man that's ever walked this earth.
You know.
But no, it's funny because people they'll do that with the teams and the players respectively, and they'll compare them, but they don't really look. I actually haven't at least seen too much of it where they look at the criteria and debate the criteria that much.
That'd be a good type of show to have.
Yeah. But I guess I don't know how far you can go with that. Like if you had an ESPN compare the criteria type of show. There's so many seasons you can do that.
I guess. I mean, you'd have to find new content. That's how people survive. But
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was a fun conversation, I think.
I think so. So, I mean, what do you want to do? Sneakers?
Or? Where are we at time-wise?
Like 122, 123. We got a few minutes. I mean, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about.
We could talk just for a second about that, the Bird Magic documentary thing. It was just really interesting. Because it kind of showed you like their respective like college careers, right? And like their upbringing. And fucking Larry Bird is like the real life Joe Dirt coming up in like a small hick town in Indiana. And
hey man, if you're gonna make fun of me, I'll just go back to work.
And he basically like had to step outside of what would otherwise be an extraordinarily racist environment, right? Like not a whole lot of brown people at all in that part of Indiana that he grew up in. So when he like went and did his college career and he started having a rivalry with Magic, people expected race to be kind of like a lot more at play.
They were just friends.
They weren't friends. They were foes for a long time.
Well, I mean,
they developed the chemistry.
Was a respect between
of course. But they developed the chemistry they I think who is it? Magic won on their first college championship that they played against each other.
And then he won the next.
Yeah, and at first like it was a shock to Larry Bird, and that's kind of where he grew like a little resentful of him at first because he was like, it was never a question. He was going to be putting up numbers and killing everybody every game that he stepped on the court,
He was
winning. He was just off that game. Like he couldn't get it going. And then they met again, and finally, like at one point, Larry Bird became the victor. And then when they were meeting in like the NBA, it went either way. That was like the
and that was that era. That was a crazy era in basketball.
They did like their Olympics run together, whatever, and then like they addressed like the part when Magic had to announce he was retiring due to his diagnosis, and just like there was just so much emotion. You can tell like how much love between them that there is.
Yeah.
But it's like the competition. It was like a brotherly relationship. Like I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna make it my business to fucking show out every single time we're out here. But I love you. That's how it is. So it's just really kind of cool to show, like, especially for somebody like me who like I was born in '89, so I missed all of that. You know what I mean? Like by the time I was watching basketball, neither of them were on the court.
Right.
So all you have is the documentaries and like the stories of the dream team type of shit, like all the older shit to go back into and understand. But it just kind of showed you more like the dynamic of them.
And that's the thing about the greats. It goes kind of just piggybacks off what we were talking about. Like when they get together, it's already established. They know, everybody knows. They're the big swinging dicks in the room, right? Mm-hmm. MJ walks in with Magic. You know they're about to start talking shit and nobody else is going to say anything.
Yep.
Because they're the common cards.
Yeah.
Right? These are we're the fucking the holographic, whatever you want to call it, fucking gold one of ones, right?
Yeah.
That's what we are. So when we're talking shut the fuck up, just watch, because you don't get to see it often. This is greatness with greatness. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now if you guys want to discuss who's better, amongst yourselves, that's one thing. But when we talk, you guys can't talk because we've reached that point. We've reached a pinnacle you've never reached.
Yeah.
We got the key to the elevator to the top floor. You can't get there.
And it's one of those things like, the same thing I say about like this era of rappers, this era of athletes too. Just because you're athletic doesn't mean you love the sport the same way. And if you don't want to, if your goal is not to be the best, you don't have any business there.
Right.
And that was the feeling then for them. You know what I mean? Like MJ, they had like his cockiness level as he walked in there, but they were like, this is his league.
It goes with what he's doing, right? What he's been able to achieve. That's why he's able to do that, and that comes with the territory.
You ever see those videos on YouTube where it's like NBA players who played with Mike? They'll talk about like times that they talk shit to him, and they were like, "That was a mistake."
That was a mistake. The Kevin Garnett one. Yeah.
I was listening to that too. Yeah, those are always entertaining. But like, it just shows you that there's like a different respect for the game now than there was.
Yeah. I mean, and it goes with the eras of the things and how players change and relationships change, a perception of how you should be with your.
And that's why when there's certain
competition, and
that's why when there's certain players like that, like there's Steph Curry's of the world who are like, "Oh, you did what?" And then all of a sudden he just takes it to another level, and all of a sudden now he can't miss.
Yeah,
and you're like, "What the fuck did I just do?" And that was the feeling that everybody who faced Mike had back in the day, Real fast before we get to sneakers and wrap up, what do you think about LeBron's I got fouled and now I have a very
I thought he was
face.
I thought he was dying.
He was looking so mad. I was
what is
for somebody who has gotten so many all-star calls by a referee.
That was like he threw such a temper tantrum, dude. It was exactly what you would watch a kid do in the middle of Toys R Us back in the day.
When your mom's like, "You can't have that."
But I want it, and you just don't know what to do, so you throw yourself on the ground, and that doesn't work. You get up and you try to go to everybody to plead. She won't buy it. Can you believe this bitch? She won't even buy this. Like that's what it felt like. He was literally whining, dude. Like he threw a temper tantrum.
Yeah, I like when I see moments like that because it just
adds
to my.
Everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And then you see Pat Bev with he was like, he brought the camera to the ref. He was like, "Foul! This is a foul!" And then they told him to go, and he was walking away. He was like, "Foul!" He literally took the camera from the fucking like, photographer.
Everybody's like, "Yeah, I mean, it was a clear foul, and it kind of has you questioning the referees a little bit." But like, what was that reaction? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like I've never seen that before,
and that's why I like to see things like that.
You've never watched.
It adds to my credence of fuck a LeBron James.
I agree, but like at the same time, that shit was pretty funny. Like it's
funny.
Like
it was just
he didn't know what else to do, right? Like he didn't know how to feel. He didn't know how to act. It just was like,
yeah, but that's like the reaction you give when you're like on your 7th grade basketball team
Yeah.
and you get called and you're like, what the fuck? Why did you give me that? Like, you calm it
I'm
down.
just glad he didn't-
slapping the floor and shit.
I'm just glad he didn't cry.
On his back, kicking his feet and shit.
It was so close. It was very close to him starting to cry. I was worried.
When I first saw the video, I saw it. I like, you know how on Instagram when you're seeing the reels, like you have to hit the volume button in order to hear the sound.
Yeah.
So all I saw was just the reaction at first. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah.
Shit is so much more funny when you watch it on silent first.
I was like, please don't cry. Please don't cry. He didn't cry, but it was close.
He went home and cried. He cried in the car. All right, well, I just had to have a little bit of fun at LeBron's expense.
No, I know. You always got to. It's fine. A lot of NBA talk today.
Yeah. It's good. We don't usually have it.
We don't
like
do
that.
it as often as we used to.
Yeah, we went from Stone Cold and Triple H to dynasties.
Yeah.
Which, technically, we can get into a whole another conversation about when you're an individual competitor and you win a championship however many times, or, you know.
Tiger Woods got to feel great.
That man is a one-man dynasty.
He's like
Johnny McEnroe. All right, man. We gave you enough. We put a little pre-potty in. We did some entertaining and much needed conversations. You know,
most definitely.
I think we had some good shit. So let's get on to sneakers, man. What you got on your feet today?
Today, I don't think I've worn these in a long time, but I had cleaned up after I wore my 5s like a few weeks back. I brought them home and I took out these and those, and I gave
These and those.
These and those. I gave
They
them.
both got that yellowing on them, huh?
Yeah, but I gave them a really good cleaning, both of them. These are the Wolf Gray 5s. Came out, I believe, like probably something like 2010 or so.
Okay.
Still clean. If I took them off, but I won't, you weird freaks. The Jordan sticker is still on the sole. The logo still on the sole. And I think I actually have one sticker from the size thing still. So just goes to show you. But yeah, Rejuvenator. Rejuvenator sponsor us because we talk about you a lot, and also you clean the shit out of shoes.
And also, we would like you to just sponsor us.
Yeah, that's it. Because I don't want to have to buy and pay
there.
for your shit again because it's expensive.
Yeah. At least just supply us with free Rejuvenator. That's all I ask.
Yeah. What you got on your feet?
I got these 7s on. Sam picked my shoe today.
Yeah, I was
because,
like, let me pick your shoes.
And I have this Wu-Tang shirt on. Killer Bees.
Wu-Tang. Olympic tour.
Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang. All right.
I came to bring the pain. All quarters I bring.
And you know, this Killer Bee yellow, I don't really have too many things to go with it other than maybe like those mellow 2s, which it just didn't go with everything else.
Wear them taxi 1s, baby.
So he selected these 7s. They go by a few different names, I guess. I fucks with them, you know what I mean? I bought these in Europe because they were no longer available.
Europe.
I spent euros, you know?
Yeah. Not on your hoes, though.
Nah, not even in the red light district. Anyway, here, Mr. No Headphones, I will be playing the theme song today. Thank you all for tuning in to episode number 167. That's right, I did double check to make sure I was saying it again correctly. Of the Kasson Avenue podcast. We do appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully you have as much fun with it as we did putting it together. Good, lively debates. You know, overdue. We haven't had that in a couple weeks now. You know.
Yeah.
So hit that subscribe button, man. Go follow us on Patreon. Pay us your money there.
We would appreciate that.
Yeah, and then follow all the other socials and shit.
Yeah. Some changes might be coming in terms of like just some shows.
Nah, man. Listen, I told you. We have to stop announcing it. Just do it.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
You know, change gonna come. Yeah, we'll holler at y'all, man. Peace.
Peace.